friend. This is how you are after that NBA Finals appearance.
Yeah.
I want to take you back to the bubble for a minute. Before the playoffs even started, you and I sat down and you told me you were going to the NBA Finals. Not a lot of people agreed with you, but you had total certainty. It obviously paid off. What is the biggest lesson you learned from all of that and that whole experience?
That the group that we had were very capable of making it to the finals and competing. I think that those group of guys realized what we could do, and I'm hoping that the group that we have now realize it too. I definitely miss the guys that we had, but I'm grateful for the guys that we brought in.
So, Jimmy, fill in the blank for me here. The Miami Heat get back to the NBA Finals if blank.
If we do what we're supposed to do, play together, not listen to everybody on the outside, which I preach every single day. We're not worried about them. Let's lock in on us and play our best version of basketball that we can. We'll get back there, and we know what to do.
How do you notice the confidence you have in these guys spreading to them so that they believe the way you believe?
I just got to tell them every day, show them that I'm so appreciative of them, the work that they put in. I have all the confidence in the world in these guys. I do. I'm going to continue to give it to them. Confidence is what those guys need, and that's what I'm here for. And then I'll just, get in where I fit in.
Well, you're backing it up. That image of you slumped over the stanchion in the NBA Finals, just giving every ounce of yourself. There's not much time for you and the Heat to recover from those moments from that Finals. Training camp's already underway. Your first regular season game is in less than 2 weeks. How do you feel about the short turnaround time and how it's going to affect you guys?
I think everybody's going to be a little bit tired. We're at the same disadvantage everybody else is at. And like I always say, nobody cares. Nobody's picking us anyway. So tired or not tired, we still got a job to do. We still got to go out there and prove that we can compete with the best of them. We'll be okay.
Have you noticed that no one's picking you? Has that caught your attention, Jimmy Butler?
I don't have to look at any media outlet to know that. You got some really good players that are much better than I am coming back. KD, Kyrie, Steph, Cat. A lot of guys that was out are coming back. So I'd pick those guys over me too.
Wait, you would pick those guys over you? Or if you were in the media, you would pick those guys? Or are you currently picking those guys over you?
Those guys over me. Yes, I would.
So if I'm betting, I should bet against you? I always thought that was dangerous.
Do you want to win or you want to lose? That's up to you.
Well, our staff noticed that you liked a post on Instagram from Bleacher Report that said James Harden has added the Heat and Bucks to his list of preferred trade destinations.
I think that's
what did you like about that post, Jimmy?
I like his hairstyle.
That's it?
His player. Like little dreads, some braids. The beard looks well nourished. I like the post.
What do you think of the idea that James Harden might want to come to Miami?
There's a lot of stuff always in the media. I think that he's a hellified player. I like the group that we have. To tell you the truth, I just want the guy to be happy. I think that's what life is about. That's what the game is about. And yeah, so what? I like the post.
So on that tip, you know what it's like to be in that situation. You wanted to trade out of Minnesota a few years ago. We all know what happened next. Have you gotten any flashbacks when you've been hearing about what's going on with James and the Rockets?
Nope, no flashbacks for me. I'm where I want to be. That's behind me. That's the past. I'm here. I'm locked in on the Miami Heat right now. I'm telling you, I like James. He's a friend of mine. I just want him to be happy. I do.
Well, let's talk about your Heat teammates then. Fellow All-Star Bam Adebayo just rewarded with that cash, that max extension this past offseason.
Well deserved.
Did you give Bam any advice when he was going through the process or after he signed the deal?
Just look, man, you know where you want to be. You know that we need you because you're the engine, you're the key. You've won us so many games, and if we're healthy, who's to say that we wouldn't have beat the Lakers in the finals? We'll never know now, but hopefully we get a rematch at that. But I'm so glad that he got that bag. He deserved it. He's worked so hard each and every day. and he's always making everybody around him better.
Well, Jimmy, I cannot end this interview without asking about the Bubble's most successful business, Big Face Coffee. You told me before we left Orlando you wanted to make this a real thing out in the world. I heard you got a special delivery today. Tell us what's going on.
Today, I got my first little batch of beans. Me, my trainer, James Scott, and one of my hometown guys, Chase Bartlett. We've been putting in a little bit of work. You know, obviously this on-court thing is most important. My singing career got that, dancing career got that. Coffee's next, so we're gonna put that in motion.
I love it. And do you have a Big Face Coffee stand set up at the arena there at training camp? And if so, is it still $20 a pop for your teammates?
I think the price is being talked about. We don't know. But I think if we got to get a model, so I'm thinking Goran is going to be our first model for Big Face Coffee, and then we'll take it from there. But it's in motion, and I think that it's going to be a big thing.
Wait, is Goran going to have to walk a runway to show off the Big Face Coffee styles? How's it going to work?
Yeah. We're not paying him a damn thing either, but he's going to walk it for free, and he's going to love doing it.
I know you, Jimmy. I know you're going to be able to make it all work. Thank you so much for joining us. Our eyes will be on you this season for sure.
I appreciate you.
Coming up, Giannis says he is not focused on his contract extension with Milwaukee. Do we trust the Bucks as a team to overcome any distractions that come their way? We'll discuss that after the break. First for James Harden and the Rockets.
Rachel, I think the Rockets continue to want to try to slow play trade talks the best they can. You know, they're not certainly in a rush to go out and find a deal and put one together that might leave them, you know, ultimately short of getting the kind of massive haul that you've got to get for a player like James Harden, to let a market develop, let teams' interest develop over time. And get him back on the court in Houston. Get him on the floor with John Wall. See if you can get John Wall back to all-star form, and see if there's any momentum you can get back with the Rockets. As you know, as we've talked about, he still has 2 years left on his deal. They don't have to rush their way into a trade. But listen, it's going to continue to be at the forefront of conversations all over the league. It is a lot of pressure on an organization. It is a lot of distraction, especially with a new GM, a new head coach. This thing doesn't go away. You get asked about it every day. That tension is there every day. It's not easy to move forward like this for an organization, but if they're gonna slow play it, if they're gonna figure out how to get the best possible deal, it's something that the Rockets are gonna have to learn to live with.
So fascinating to watch that develop. All right, the very Natalie dressed Adrian Wojnarowski, thank you so much for joining us, Woj. We will see you soon.
Thanks, Rach.
All right, with that, I'd like to bring in our resident coach, David Fizdale, our Hall of Famer, Jackie McMullen. Welcome, friends. And, Coach, I'll start with you. What's your reaction to the news of this big extension for PG?
I'm going to call him for a loan. That's a great deal for him. I'm really happy for him. You know, nothing better for a guy in his hometown to get a big contract and for a team to show how much they really want to. Obviously, I thought the Clippers should and had to do this because they gave up a lot, right? Gilchrist Alexander is one of the best young players in the league. Gallinari, a ton of picks. And so this has to work out. And I think they're showing how invested they are by taking this step forward. And look, let's not get it wrong. Paul George is a baller. He's a two-way player. He's a guy that's got the potential to make all-league teams. I think it's a good investment on the Clippers' part by showing this. I think now the big step is going to be Kawhi Leonard taking it to another level and showing why he had to have his guy in Clipperland. You know, I think that because Kawhi demanded, he wanted him there. And so I think Kawhi now has to step up and show why he wanted him there. And now they got to go out and get a championship done.
I think you've hit the nail on the head, David. This was a package deal when they came, right? So Kawhi and Paul George wanted to play together. Paul George has now said, all right, I'm here for the long haul. And I'm sure he's hoping, and the Clippers are hoping, that Kawhi follows suit. You had to get this done, and I know there's a lot of unhappy Clipper fans that are looking at Paul George's playoff results and saying, are you kidding me? Why are you paying this guy all this money? But I think Steve Ball and the Clippers are smart to take the longer view of Paul George's career. He did have a tough postseason, as did most of the Clippers. And I think his Game 7 sticks in everybody's craw still. But remember, he was coming off double shoulder surgery. We heard him speak of his struggles inside the bubble with the mental health aspect of that, which I do not think we should diminish in any way, shape, or form. So what this tells me is the Clippers are not overreacting to their early exit in the playoffs. They have a new coach. They're going to restart. They have new players, and they're going to go forward with these two guys and hope they can lock Kawhi up as well.
That double shoulder surgery point, Jackie, I think is so important here because obviously that wasn't affecting him per se in the playoffs in the bubble. But he didn't really have an offseason, and he didn't even start the season last year with the team. So this year it's short, but he has had an offseason, and hey, it's longer than if they had advanced further in the playoffs. So he had that. Had an offseason. You know, I've been told that he's been getting back to a lot of the training and things that he did before he had that season that put him in the top 5 MVP voting back in Oklahoma City. So we'll have to see if this is a bet that is going to be a smart bet. But so clearly the Clippers think so. And look, you do have Kawhi Leonard, player option after this upcoming season. Jackie, do you think Kawhi will commit to the Clippers, especially after this PG noise?
It seems to me he would, Rachel, but I have given up trying to guess what goes on inside Kawhi Leonard's head. I'll be honest. And I do think we should point one other thing out for the cynics that I heard from shortly after this news broke, and that is Paul George asked to be traded out of the Pacers, asked to be traded from OKC. So he has locked up and says he wants to, remain there for the remainder of his career. But in his past 2 places, he has requested a trade. Nothing's ever certain in the NBA.
Hey, and you know what? Right now, after, with this nice contract, and then I think his comments about how Doc used him, I think it puts a lot on his shoulders now, the Clipper fans, that he's got to come and answer the bell, especially with the way they exited. So the package deal of those 2 guys, I think they have to have elevated